Good day, guys. And today we will learn. Good day, guys. And today we will learn about ratio. So, what is ratio? Based on the definition, ratio is the relationship between two numbers represented as a quotient. So, when we say relationship between two numbers, we often think that we are comparing them. But when we talk about comparing, what we always think is the symbols for greater than, less than, and equal. But with ratio, we are not comparing it like this. We try to see now they are related to each other when we compare things. So we can say that when we compare two numbers by division, that is how we relate ratio. So how do we compare it using division? Let's have a ratio, 1/2. Yes, this is also a fraction because ratio and fraction are related to each other. It is just when we use fraction in a particular way that is ratio. Ratio are basically fractions and depends on how we use it. Let's compare how we use fraction 1/2 and ratio 1/2. Mathematically, they are the same. In fraction, we treat it like it is just a single number. Example, if we have a pizza and we say it's 1/2, it means it is just half of the pizza. We can use 1/2 if we want to show number of pizza. We have like 1 and 2. So those are just taken as 1. We are still talking about the one pizza. Okay? So 1/2 is really just one quantity on one thing, which is the pizza. Let's now use 1/2 in ratio, wherein we are not using 1/2 as a single number, but we pay attention to the numerator and the denominator. Remember, in fraction, we take 1/2 as one number, but in ratio, we consider the numerator and the denominator. Let's now have example here for ratio. So when we say 1/2, for one pizza, there will be two people who will be sharing it. In fraction, we refer only to one pizza. But in ratio, we refer to the pizza and people, two different things. Fraction shows a part of something, and ratio is a relationship between two different things. So fractions and ratio are used differently, and they are also shown differently. Let's have here a representation. Ratio can be represented as a fraction in the numerator and denominator, but we can also be representing it as 1 colon 2. So in 1 colon 2, this is read as 1 to 2 or 1 per 2. Let's have an example. This means we have to compare the pencil and the notebook. And you can say that it is 3 to 2. 3 to 2 in terms of the number of pencils to the number of notebooks. If you notice, we can write it as a fraction as well as 3 over 2, but we are not having 3 over 2 as just one number. The numerator 3 refers to the number of pencils and the denominator 2 refers to the number of notebooks. Let's have another example. In a fruit stand, for example, the man sold 5 mangoes for every 3 apples. So the ratio of the mangoes to apples can be represented as 5 to 3 or 5 is to 3. If you want to make a cake or a cupcake, you might be encountering some of the ingredients. For example, we have to have flour and sugar. For every 2 cups of flour, we add 1 cup of sugar. So this can be represented as 2 to 1. Another example is when you are traveling. You can say that the man is traveling at 30 kilometers per hour. You might ask, 30 is not a fraction. But remember, 30 can be written as 30 over 1. Therefore, 30 refers to the number of kilometers and 1 refers to the number of hours. Now, let's have some practice drill. Please be ready with your paper for this part of the video. First, you just need to represent the following photos into ratio. Let's start. Number 1, write the ratio of the number of chairs with the number of tables. Number 2, write the ratio of the number of pumpkins to the green vegetable. Number 3, write the ratio of the number of camel to the number of horse. Number 4, write the number of cockroaches to the number of ladybugs. Okay, that is now part 1 of our drill. We go now to part 2. In part 2, you need to draw based on the given ratio. Ready? Let's now begin part 2. Number 1. Draw circles and triangles in the ratio 2 to 5. Number 2. Draw hearts and squares in the ratio 7 to 3. Number 4. Number 3 of this part, draw stars and pentagons in the ratio 4 to 2. Number 4 of part 2, draw ovals and rectangles in the ratio 6 to 7. And last number for part 2, draw hexagons and circles in the ratio 8 to 4. Okay? So for the answers, you will be prompt to the next video for the answers for the practice. Thank you and see you on the next video.